The vision, what should be the starting on this video? Should we be like, hello everyone, welcome back to another video here today from my Fun Fingers. Hello and welcome back to another video. The vision is done already. I cannot believe this, man. I was quite shocked when it happened, to be honest. Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman have all turned on Seth Rollins. Division is over already. Well, it's been about like 6 months since this group has been a thing now. They started in April in WrestleMania. The first member to be added into it was Bron Breakker. Then later on they added in Bronson Reed. And as someone who was never the biggest fan of this group, I was actually starting to like them, or kind of more like Seth Rollins. I think they were starting to like Seth Rollins a little more again. And I did think that they weren't bad, the four of them weren't too bad. Like Seth, Paul, Braun, Bronson, they were all kind of working together good, and they had Becky Lynch. And I think that they could have went on to do better things with this group. Maybe they could have started to improve on it a little more. I thought they were improving on it. I thought Seth Rollins' promos got better. Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman was good. Bronson Reed with Bron Breakker is good, but it's still gonna be Paul Heyman and Bron Breakker. But here's the thing, right? I don't really mind the group splitting up because I never thought this group was that great. But here's the thing. War Games is in a month and they have just blown up their biggest faction. War Games is a faction war match. It's your biggest faction feuding against your biggest guys that all collide just to take them out, basically. War Games is in a month's time, right? And you have the vision. You have this faction which is built up over 6 months. It's not the great. They're feuding with Roman, they're feuding with Punk, they're feuding with Jay, and they're feuding with LA Knight. Right? And then you add in Jimmy Uso. That's 5. They have those 5, which they've been feuding with all of those 5 guys now for ages on Monday Night Raw. Then you have Seth, Bronson, Bron Breakker. You add in Austin Theory and Brock Lesnar, because Paul Heyman calls in a favor from Brock Lesnar. That is your War Games match. I thought that was going to be the War Games Survivor Series match, right? So, the start of this show was, they basically said, they announced that there was going to be a number 1 contendership match between Punk, LA Knight, Jey Uso. We got a promo coming out from Seth Rollins. The Vision comes walking out, right? Seth Rollins basically says that he is the best of his generation and he is the best champ. He's the number 1 guy in WWE, and he doesn't need Bronson, he doesn't need Bron Breakker, and he doesn't need Paul Heyman. I thought this was weird the way he said this, and he was not spitting facts. He said he was spitting facts, that he doesn't need these, that he's won multiple times by himself, but he has not, right? That is absolute lies. That's lies, right? He's basically lying. I don't know why. He's just delusional in his head, right? So, Bron Breakker did not look too happy here. Bron Breakker gave Seth Rollins a little bit of a look. He didn't look too happy. Then we get to our main event, which was, of course, the triple threat match between Punk, LA Knight, and Jey Uso. CM Punk ends up winning. It's an okay match. It's just an ordinary match. But here's another thing, right? Punk, who I have been wanting to win a world title for this entire year, is facing Seth Rollins at Saturday Night's main event. The Vision's done. We do Saturday Night's main event. Then we do War Games. My question is, right? Bron Breakker is gonna want to go for the world title. Bron Breakker is gonna want to go for the world title. So, and it makes more sense for Bron Breakker to beat Seth Rollins than CM Punk. So now I'm a little bit doubtful, and I'm doubting that CM Punk is not going to win against Seth Rollins. When CM Punk should beat Seth Rollins, CM Punk should be winning this match. But now we're introducing Bron Breakker into the world title picture like this? We're like, it's going to be like, say like Bron Breakker, right? Going into that match, are we going to have Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed not get involved, Punk wins, then Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, they go into a feud with Seth Rollins, and then Bron Breakker or Bronson Reed ends up going to face Punk after that? I wouldn't mind that. I think I did hear someone say on social media that This could just be all a trick. This is a trick. Seth Rollins and the Vision, they planned this. They did the turn to throw Punk off, to trick Punk into thinking that he has a good chance of beating Rollins one-on-one with no interference from Braun and Bronson. That could be a possibility. I think that almost might be a better possibility, and that might be a better thing to do than what they've done. Because what they've done now is they have destroyed, and I mean destroyed, War Games pretty much. Because now, say if it's not a trick and that this is where they're going, this is the direction that they are going in. The Vision thing with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. Say if this isn't a trick and it's going to be Braun, Bronson, Paul Heyman, who is going to be on Braun and Bronson's team for a start? Who? Right? We are going to see Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns team up with Jey Uso and LA Knight. That's what it's going to be now. That's what it's going to be now. They'll probably do that. That is probably their Survivor Series War Games match. Roman Reigns is meant to be a rival of Seth Rollins. He's going to be teaming up with his biggest rivals. Seth Rollins' biggest rivals, Punk, Roman, and LA Knight right now. His three biggest rivals right now. And he's going to team up with them. Because that's what War Games is, man. I'm actually sick of this. I hope that this honestly, maybe it's not true. I'm ranting a little bit too much, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of just mad at this booking decision, right? Let me break it down for you, right? War Games is honestly a stupid concept. I much prefer traditional Survivor Series, Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. I love those days, man. I wish we could just go back to those days of Survivor Series. Because Survivor Series is only needed when it's a faction war. And you break up your biggest faction. You have the faction that I named, the Vision, versus the guys that I named, Roman, Punk, LA Knight, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso. You have this all for a year and you break it up before. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it is all a big trick and Triple H is just getting a little creative and he was doing it for a bit of a shock value moment and that it is all just a trick in the end. I wouldn't be surprised. It's not like they haven't done similar things like this with Paul Heyman years ago, like previous. We had Brock Lesnar go with Paul Heyman, but this was all a plan for Roman Reigns to throw off Brock Lesnar and to get Paul Heyman to trick Brock into thinking he's with him when he was actually just planning this all along with Roman. So they did that. So this could just all be a plan to throw off CM Punk. I'm not too sure, but we've got to wait and see. I'm like 50-50 on this booking decision. I think it's good, 50-50 good, 50-50 bad. 50 good, 50 bad. You get what I mean? Because it depends on where it goes, depends on where it leads. It's like the Cena heel turn, right? I never thought that was a good decision. It's just one of these booking decisions that is so, like, random and the timing's not there and it's like a shock value moment where I hope that they actually have a good plan for this. But thank you a lot for watching. I feel like I've ranted about this for too long now and I've said most of my points that I wanted to say, that I want to get off my chest. I just wanted to come on here, talk about this. I hope that War Games is still good because it's kind of not a pay-per-view that I look forward to that much and I don't really care for it. I hope they didn't ruin War Games, and I hope Braun Breaker's not the one to beat Seth Rollins. Please, no. It should be Roman, or it should be Punk, or even LA Knight. I'd take anybody. All those three guys. I'd take Jey Uso again. I love Jey Uso, but his title reign wasn't great. Over Braun Breaker. I'd take Jimmy over Braun Breaker. I'd take Bronson over Braun Breaker at this point. I actually do prefer Bronson Reed than Braun Breaker. But anyways, thank you a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to My Final Figures. My Final Figures out. Peace.